Well, good morning, everybody. I am back again. This is, let's see, part four. For those of you just tuning in, I am making one of my many journeys from Minnesota to Colorado. Obviously, as I've said many times before, going to look for a house. So, for those of you that have been following, obviously, I let you go abruptly last time. I stopped and filled up 319 miles, and I got, let's see, 7.1, I believe. I'll do all the math later, but nevertheless, I believe it's going to cost me somewhere between $60 and $80 each way, which I feel is pretty impressive. And how many people can make it 1,000 miles on only $80 worth of fuel? So, hitting another construction zone. Big surprise. I feel like Nebraska's had at least 7 different construction projects all on I-80, so all on the same freeway. I stopped and got a nap in, wasn't North Platte, but it was, let's see, just east of there. I hadn't quite made it to North Platte yet, and I wish I would have, because North Platte has nice rest stops that the semis and the cars are split up. And so if you're somebody like me who every little noise wakes you up, you appreciate a quiet rest stop. And it is just a quiet, peaceful rest stop. We're already basically done with that construction zone. That wasn't too bad. Still pretty quiet out on the road. Obviously, you can see in the other direction there's some cars, quite a bit more cars on the other side than on my side. I don't recognize that semi. I don't think he's passed me before. Song always cut short. Yep, in the land of the cornfields. Not a whole lot to report. I suppose it's just about time to harvest. Maybe at the end of this month. I'm sure because they're farther south than we are in Minnesota, they haven't had to deal with any real cold whatsoever. I mean, I'm sure it's gotten down to low 40s, but in Minnesota it's gotten down to the low 30s. I'm worried about my tomato plants. say whatever. Currently on this tank, and I know a dummy monitor, but 143 miles, almost 144. It says I'm getting 49.6 miles to the gallon, which I'm sure it is probably a little high, but there's no doubt in my mind that I'm getting at least 48, and it could be closer to 49. And like I said in my earlier videos, I have more time than I do money, and if I give up my time and go slow, I get to keep more of my money. I did the math just a minute ago. I was just curious, and somebody who drives consistently 75 miles an hour over the 960 mile or so radius that I'm driving would make it in, let me think, I just did it, but I believe it was 12.8 hours. And then if you did my speed over the same distance, 57 miles an hour average, it's 17.8 hours maybe. And you might say, wow, well, that's, 4 hours difference, or, almost, or, and, yeah, it might be a pretty big difference, but it's also a large amount of miles that I'm driving. And like I said in my earlier videos, I have the same people that will pass me over and over again. And the reason that happens is because they're driving a long distance as well, but their vehicle doesn't get as good a gas mileage, and then they're going a lot faster than me, which gets even worse mileage. And so they have to go ahead and fill up again. And so it's like, as they're stopping and filling up, I might sell a quarter tank, and then I might see him again at a half a tank. And if I were to keep going, I might see him again at a third tank. It's like, tortoise versus hare. And, it's also counting, like, for example, I'm just by myself, so I just have to make potty breaks and gas breaks based on when I want to, not everybody in the car needing to stop. And that's also not including, all the times they had to get gas. That's not including rest stops. It's not including stoplights or stop signs. But with all of that stuff, it's like a lot of your time that you race to your destination, and I might be just right behind you by 100 miles or less, and I might have 100 or 2 or 3 more in my pocket because I went slower. And I say driving is an art. It requires skill and it requires patience. Anybody can get behind the wheel and just give her all the hell, full out hell, and just keep going until the inevitable happens. But not too many people on the road can do what I do, which is hold a steady speed, relax, let it go, give people room, respect people, not have the me first mentality. But then it also seems like I'm in the wrong because I'm not speeding and I'm not cutting somebody off and I'm not hurrying, and like for example now, and I'm getting into a construction zone with one where it's going down to one lane, and damn semi all on my ass, like just immediately. I had a whole bunch of semis that raced by me, and I seen them sitting at the rest stops, or even lights off, like sleeping at the rest stops, and it's kind of interesting because you raced by me to go to sleep. Yep. We had 11 minutes. I suppose call this a wrap for now. I'm curious as to how long this work is one lane and go on for. And I'm also curious as to how pissed off the 7 driver is behind me. He backed off just a little bit, but I'm sure he's still. Yay, I see a beautiful sign. It says I-76 Denver 4 miles. There he goes. Bye. Miller Brothers Express. Well, according to that sign, it looks like I have 189 miles to get into Denver, and then I have another, 30 miles after that. I was trying to explain the last time I was out there, maybe it was even the time before that how I get into Colorado and I get somewhere right around Denver, just before I get into Denver, I think. And I'm like, kind of like, and it just feels like home, and it feels like, and then there's also another spot, like right as you're getting into the foothills of the mountains, where, Jesus. Wow, how's my driving? P340035. with a phone number of 1-800-259-8846 at 8:02 a.m. And he passed me basically to cut me off. But there's no worries because I'm definitely going to call him in.